prophetic authority for the statement that well-doing consists in worshiping God as though thou wert seeing him. I will not waste the time and abuse the patience of my readers by endeavoring to classify and describe these various grades of illumination, which may be depicted symbolically but cannot be explained in scientific language. You must allow the mystics to speak for themselves, granted that their teaching is often hard to understand. It conveys more of the truth than we can ever hope to obtain from analysis and dissection. Here are two passages from the oldest Persian treatise on Sufism, the Kashf al-Mahjub of Hujwiri. It is related that Sari al-Sakati said, O God, whatever punishment thou mayest inflict upon me, do not punish me with the humiliation of being veiled from thee, because if I am not veiled from thee, my torment and affliction will be lightened by the recollection and contemplation of thee. But if I am veiled from thee, even thy bounty will be deadly to me. There is no punishment in hell more painful and hard to bear than that of being veiled. If God were revealed in hell to the people of hell, sinful believers would never think of paradise, since the sight of God would so fill them with joy that they would not feel bodily pain. In paradise, there is no pleasure more perfect than unveiledness. If the people there enjoyed all the pleasures of that place, and other pleasures 100-fold, but were veiled from God, their hearts would be utterly broken. Therefore, it is the way of God to let the hearts of those who love him have vision of him always, in order that the delight thereof may enable them to endure every tribulation. And they say in their visions, we deem all torments more desirable than to be veiled from thee. When thy beauty is revealed to our hearts, we take no thought of affliction. There are really two kinds of contemplation. The former is the result of perfect faith, the latter of rapturous love. For in the rapture of love, a man attains to such a degree that his whole being is being absorbed in the thought of his beloved, and he sees nothing else. Muhammad ibn Wasa' said, I never saw anything without seeing God therein, i.e., through perfect faith. Shibli said, I never saw anything except God, i.e., in the rapture of love and the fervor of contemplation. One mystic sees the act with his bodily eye, and as he looks, beholds the agent with his spiritual eye. Another is wrapped by love of the agent from all things else, so that he sees only the agent. The one method is demonstrative, the other is ecstatic. In the former case, a manifest proof is derived from the evidences of God. In the latter case, the seer is enraptured and transported by desire. Evidences are a veil to him, because he who knows a thing does not care for aught besides, and he who loves the thing does not regard aught besides, but renounces contention with God and interference with him in his decrees and acts. When the lover turns his eye away from created things, he will never see the Creator with his heart. God hath said, tell the believers to close their eyes. Quran 24:30, i.e., to close their bodily eyes to less and their spiritual eyes to created things. Oh, I don't remember the context of that. That could make the whole thing clear there, right? He who is most sincere in self-mortification is most firmly grounded in contemplation. Sahal ibn Abdallah of Tustar said, if anyone shuts his eye to God for a single moment, he will never be rightly guided all his life long, because to regard other than God is to be handed over to other than God, and one who is left at the mercy of other than God is lost. Therefore, the life of contemplatives is the time during which they enjoy contemplation, time spent in ocular vision. They do not reckon as life, for that to them is really death. Thus when Bayezid was asked how old he was, he replied, 4 years. They said to him, how can that be? He answered, I have been veiled from God by this world for 70 years, but I've seen him during the last 4 years. The period in which one is veiled does not belong to one's life. I take the following quotation from the Mawaqif of Nifari, an author with whom we shall become better acquainted as we proceed. God said to me, the least of the sciences is nearness, is that you should see in everything the effects of beholding me, and that this vision should prevail over you more than your gnosis of me. Explained by the commentator, he means that the least of the sciences of nearness, proximity to God, is that when you look at anything sensibly or intellectually or otherwise, you should be conscious of beholding God with a vision clearer than your vision of that thing. There are diverse degrees in this matter.